Hello, Education 1030 students. I hope everyone has had a great week. I can't believe it. It's spring break time. I know everyone is ready for a break. Um, Breaks are good because they let us rest a little bit, but also I feel like it's a great time for us to do a little reflection. So, hence the assignment, midterm check in. Another thing that we're going to be working on, if you haven't completed already, was submitting your topic form for the Exploring the Field presentation. Many people have turned it in, but I went ahead and extended it a week because I wanted to make sure everyone has gotten that in. There's also a chance for us to earn some bonus points. I know that I submitted our progress reports, and some students have reached out to me saying, well, how can they bring their grade up? So, this is a great chance for you to earn some bonus points. So, we're going to talk a little bit about that. And another thing we're going to talk about is your job readiness module. Um, Specifically the focus to career, and we're going to get into it a little bit so you can see what they look like. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to scroll down and look at the midterm check-in. So if you just click on it, it's going to take you here and you will just download it and type into it. I've had some people try to handwrite this and then try to take a picture. It's just best if you download it and type directly into it. It's a lot easier for me to read and grade. So the first thing that you want to look at whenever you're doing a reflection is to figure out, where am I right now? Okay, where am I in this semester? How am I doing? Am I making good choices? And sometimes when we're having a difficult time with a class or we're struggling, we start to lose motivation and we start questioning, should I have gone to college? How is this working out for me? So you need to ask yourself these hard questions. So you are your own advocate. You're your biggest advocate, which means that you have to make choices that's going to help you be successful. So, knowing where you are is the first step. So, the first thing we're looking at in this midterm check in is going to be your course grades. So, what you're going to do is look at each course, and I want you to review the syllabus, and I want you to look at the section that talks about your grades. I want you to estimate where you are at this point with your grades. So you're only looking at the points you've received so far. Now, you can go also into your grade book, like into your grade section in the course, and it's going to give you a grade. Now, remember, sometimes it's easily there at the top, like it's readily available. The points are already averaged for you. Sometimes you may have to do some calculations. If you're not sure how to calculate your grade, you may want to talk to your instructor, but you don't have to tell me what the course is. You can just say, well, let's pretend this course here, Education 1030, that's our course one. Then we've got a math course, it's course two. So you're just going to either put the letter grade or you're going to put your actual grade there. The second section is looking at what you're going to continue doing right, or if you're not doing so well, how can you improve your grade? So you're going to give me 3 strategies, 3 steps that you're going to take to improve or maintain the grades that you have right now. The second one I want you to think about is the third one is looking back when we did our chapter 1 homework, Walter State Resources homework, and you had to list who your academic advisor was. So you're going to do that same thing here. You're going to put who that person is. So give me their name, their office, phone number, email. Um, you must meet. Remember, you have to meet with your advisor before you can register for summer and fall classes. Okay, so you're just going to answer this question: have you met with them? Yes or no. And also, if you've not reached out to them, um, if you haven't met with them, are you going to reach out with them to schedule an appointment? I hope you put yes here because you will have to reach out if you want to register for summer and fall if you plan to return next semester. Now, some people are not taking summer classes, they will return in the fall. And then the next section here, or question, excuse me, is, are you going to change your advisor? This is only in the case that, let's say that you decided to maybe you were undecided, or maybe you're general studies and then you actually declare a major. Maybe you need to change your advisor for that, or maybe you're changing your major completely. So then you would need to change your advisor. So that would be the only reason that you would do that. The next section is your registration begins on. Now, going back to that chapter 1 Walter State Resources page, we were really learning how to navigate eLearn, navigating Water State. So we should be able to figure out what date registration starts for. Now remember, summer and fall classes, registration's the same day. They open the same day. So that will be the same for whether you're coming in summer or fall. Then we're going to look at your personal time management. How do you spend your time? Okay. Have you been tracking your time? This could be by keeping yourself organized with the calendar or planner, things that we talked about back in the module 3, I believe it was. So, to answer these questions, you could either highlight it or put an X by it. But for some way, or for some, I need to be able to see that you are highlighting. A lot of people leave these blank, and I don't think it's intentional. It's just they don't know how to mark it. So some people will draw in there and circle it, they'll highlight it or put an X by it. But I need to know if you always track your time, never, or sometimes. And if you are not, what can you do to change that behavior? Are you making regular use of your planner or calendar? Always, never, or sometimes. And if not, what can you do to change this behavior? So, really, again, it's just reflecting how you use your time if you're using it wisely. Now, the next section I want us to look at is your current motivation. Now, this is tricky sometimes because whenever we are starting to feel stressed or overwhelmed, we lose motivation. So, it's important for you to reflect where you stand at this point in the semester. So, what is your current level for motivation for college? Is it high, medium, low? Compared to the beginning of the term, are you more motivated, less, or about the same? Are you spending time with other positive students? And then, if you are having a difficult time with motivation and setting goals, what is your plan to change your behavior? Then we're going to look at knowing course requirement dates. And this is important because we talked about this in the first chapter of our textbook when we started looking at how different colleges from high school and how you have to be more, um, you play a key role and you have to be more independent. People aren't going to tell you when things are due. They're not going to keep reminding you over and over. So it's important for you to know any major papers, exams, or projects you have. I want you to list 4 of those. Now, it doesn't have to be all in the same class, it could be from different classes combined, but you need to list at least 4 requirements. Major things you have due coming up and when the due date is. I have had people in the past list things that were already done. Don't do that. Only list future dates, okay? And then lastly, we're looking at our level of anxiety and stress. Sometimes we start to feel overwhelmed, we struggle, we don't know how to cope with it, and it's important for us to talk to people and to reflect on where we are with our level of anxiety and stress. So, what is your current level? Is it high, medium, low? Could you benefit from counseling? Yes, no, we're not sure. And location of counseling center. Now, if you go back again to chapter 1, when we were doing the water state resources assignment, there was a section that talked about the counseling and center. There is a counseling center on campus that is for each students. It is confidential. So if you feel like you'd benefit from that, please reach out. If not, just talk to someone. It helps to talk to someone to just let them know what you're going through, to just unload on someone a little bit. And it can be helpful if you have someone that is a support system for you. It doesn't have to be a counselor, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Also, if you're feeling stressed and you don't have a support system, reach out to your professors or the counselor or other people in your class, your friends. It's important to lean on someone and have someone to support you and be your cheerleader. So that's going to be your assignment for midterm check-in. You will submit it to Dropbox. There is a link there, or you can go to assessments and then click Dropbox. Now, the next thing that we're going to do, I told you, is you have to make sure that you get in your exploring the field presentation topic. Now, this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. All you have to do, there is a little hyperlink here for you at the top. It says exploring the field presentation topic form. When you click on it, it takes you to the form. You're going to just download it. Now, the top section, you're not doing anything with it. It just breaks down how much your presentation is going to be worth. You're going to get 10 points for this form, 10 points for your outline, and then the biggest um, The biggest section is going to be obviously the presentation and visual aid, which is worth 80 points. But all you're doing is this section here is just telling you about it. And then you are just going to tell me what your career interest is. So what career interests you the most? What's your topic? And then if you are not sure and you need help finding something to present on, you would only fill out the bottom part there. And then I can help you. All right, so that will be submitted to Dropbox. Now let's talk about your chance for some bonus points. I said that there is going to be a chance for you to earn bonus points aside from just doing the reading organizers when we have exams. So this is going to be what we call a library tour and a library module quiz. So if you click on it, it's going to take you to this section. There are two links here. There is a link to a virtual library module, and then there is the accompanying quiz link here. So if you click on the link, it's going to take you to the actual module itself. Now, this is specifically about the Water State Community College Library. Now, a lot of us have been in libraries before. Think back when you were in elementary school. A college library is a little bit different. It's more academic and research based, so it's important for you to understand how your role of the library specifically is going to help you in your college experience. Now, some of us may be familiar with this because let's say you're taking fundamentals of communication, your speech class, or let's say you're doing English composition. Chances are you have to do some research, right? So this is going to talk about how do you use the database system? What's the research basics, right? Library services, what do they offer for students? Some common questions and facts that you might need to know about the library. And then, of course, just the first page is your introduction welcome. Now, this lady here, you might recognize her name. She's actually our research coach. She's the librarian that is embedded into our course. I mentioned this at the very beginning of the semester. If you go to our class list, you're going to see her name, and next to her name is research coach. So she's there to help you with anything that you might need. So, how do you navigate this module? So, it's just kind of like eLearn. You're going to click the tabs at the very top, and that's just going to help you navigate through the module. Now, once you're finished with the module, you will click on the quiz and it will test your understanding of the Walter State Library Services. Now, remember, this quiz is just for extra credit. It is not part of regular grading. If you don't do well on it, it does not affect your grade. If you do well, any points you get will be added to your overall grade average. So just keep that in mind. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is your focus to career. So that is going to be underneath the job readiness module. Now, in last week's video, I said that I wanted you to go ahead and get into the focus to career and register for an account. So hopefully we've got that far. If not, it's okay, but you do need to have that done. So what you'll see here when you get into the job readiness module, it's going to tell you a little bit about how it is going to help you prepare for a career. So the job readiness module is going to be a portfolio that you're going to put together that you can take with you. You can keep adding to it. So it's really going to help you when you are applying for a job, career when you get out of school, or when you want to further your education. So a portfolio is always good for you to keep on hand. So it's an electronic portfolio. Now, what are we putting in this portfolio? Well, we are going to have a personal mission statement, a resume, a cover letter, a mock interview feedback. So, someone's going to interview you, you're going to have feedback. And then if you want to have a LinkedIn account, that's optional. But you'll see here at the top, it says assessments and it says focus to career interest assessment and the career interest worksheet. That is where the focus to career comes in play. Because before we can do our actual portfolio, we need to be able to explore and see what careers align best with us. So the first link here, I talked about this last week, is just going to give you an overview. It is a video. Okay, so if you click on it, you'll see here, it's a very helpful video. It opens in a new window. It's going to explain all about the focus to career. So I suggest watching it, especially if you're unfamiliar with what it actually is. The next one is going to take you to to a page that says Career Exploration Provider. Now, this is going to be the link that's going to take us directly to our Water State career page. So this is what we call Career Exploration and Resource page at Water State. To get to the actual link, you'll have to scroll down a little bit and you're going to see a section that says Focus to Career Assessment and Exploration. Now remember, this assessment is self-paced. It's very interactive. It's going to allow you to explore lots of careers and plan a program for Water State students because it's looking at our Water State programs. Okay, it offers multiple assessments and many tools that are very beneficial for you in making a decision. So to get to the page where you have to register for an account or to log back in, you're just going to hit Access Focus 2. Okay, you may have to log in with your Water State account, you may not, but if you do, it's going to be the same thing you log in every time you log into Water State. Now you will see here, it took me to a section that says Focus to Career and Education Planning System. Now, for those of us that have not done this yet, before you can take these assessments, you do need an account. So how you're going to register is you are going to create an account by clicking on the registration page. Now, when you click on that, it's going to ask you to give an access code to register. Here is the access code. It's called Senators, all lowercase. Okay, so you will complete your registration by creating an account. So you may have to fill in some information and then you have a free account. Now, once you create your account, the system will prompt you to begin the assessments. Now, if you've already created an account and you've not done anything else, you will go back because you're a returning user. So you won't do this first step. You've already created your account. You need to click on returning users log in here. And then you are going to put in your username and password that you created. Now, your database may look a little bit different because remember, I'm an administrator where you're the student, so yours might just come up automatically. But for me, I have to click which site. Now, I do want to note, I am able to get in here and see kind of what everyone's doing, so that's very helpful. But I'm going to click on student site so you can see your section. Now, the first thing that comes up, it'll have your name, it'll say Water State Community College. The first three are really just to help you begin your planning. These are not the actual assessments themselves, okay? So it just kind of gives us a starting point, like how involved are you in career planning process, right? So it looks at that. How do you excel academically? It looks at your academic strengths. And then what are your competencies for preparing success in the workplace? Some people don't like to do these, but I feel like this is a great thing to do because it gives us a foundation and a starting point before you begin your assessments. And the more information that it has, the better equipped it's going to be to give you results to match to the right career for you. Now, when you scroll down, these are the actual assessments. Now, each criteria, there's 4 of them. Each one is going to help you to explore different majors and occupations. Now, remember, they're tied to Water State uh, occupations or majors, excuse me. So it really helps match you to the right career. Now, the 4 areas that it looks at is your work interest, um, what interests you. Then you've got values assessment. So we're going to really try to align you, excuse me, choose a career that aligns with your values. Then we have your personality. So what occupations would fit best for your personality? And then skills assessment. So looking at your skill set, which occupations are best for that? Okay. Now, if you'll look here, it says like up at the top in each area, not started. So this is going to keep up with what you've done and what you haven't, which is good because if you completed it, it'll let you know that. Because it's, let's say you do 2 and then you come back 2 days later, you're not going to remember what you've done maybe, and it's going to let you know what you've completed and what you haven't. Now, what I would suggest doing is once you're finished with all the assessments, I would hit combine your results. Now, it'll give you results for each individual area, but we want an in-depth look at your results because we want to see how all 4 areas are going to give us the best match for occupation. So we want to combine all 4 assessments. And so you would hit the combine. Now I will do a separate video showing you, okay, now that I've done the assessments, what would I do with the results? That will be a separate video. But if you want to go ahead and look at it, once you complete the 4 assessments, I would go ahead and hit combine to start looking at your results. So let's go ahead and look at each assessment so we can see what it looks like inside. The first one, work interest, is really looking at what do you enjoy doing, right? It helps you discover occupations that match your interests, which is going to help you because then you're more likely to be engaged and happy with your career choice. So it's going to give you 36 questions, and all you're going to do is put what you agree with, right? So your likes and dislikes. So the first one, for instance, says, to what degree would you enjoy designing graphic art images and illustrations for advertising media? Then you would just put how much you agree with it or not. Okay, and you would do that for all 36. Okay. The next one is your values. So you're going to really look at what truly is important to you. This is who you are as a person. This is what's going to help you stay motivated and engaged. So you're going to select from this list it gives you the top 3 values that are the most important things for you in a career. Okay, and then you will just hit view results. The next thing is your personality. This is really looking at what job's compatible with you. So when we talk about your personality really describes a lot about you. It describes how you interact with people, how you react to situations, how do you make decisions, how do you solve problems, how do you organize information. It looks at all of that. So what you're going to do is for each question, you would choose the response that you agree most with. Now, don't sit here and give this a lot of thought. I don't want you to choose what you want to be. I want you to choose what you are. Okay. So we're not looking at our future fairy, want to be this kind of person. It's really wanting you to be honest with who you really are. And that's going to give you the best assessment result. And then your skills assessment. So this is where we're going to match your job to your skill set, right? So what you're going to do is there's lots of different skill set. We look at communication, people skills, problem solving skills, management skills, creative and artistic skills, scientific skills, and then technical. So I would look at each of those skills and you're going to select the top 3 that you have from all the skills. And again, that's going to match you within a career that would be most, I guess, suitable for your natural abilities and talents. Okay. And then, of course, you would hit combine your results. Now, something interesting to note is earlier I mentioned that there's a lot of different tools in Focus to Career. So, what you can even do is explore the possibilities for ongoing exploration with Water State majors here. So, for instance, the first one section says, "What can I do with a major offered at Water State Community College?" So you can look at what careers can you get from this major. Okay, so you can click on that. Um, and it's going to use suggested majors. So that's another thing is before you get into this section, you have to complete your assessments because it's going to align you based on your results with different occupations at Water State. So once you get that, and we'll look more about it when we do the next video, but you can see here it's really neat because you can compare 2 occupations side by side. Um, what if you majored in this? What it would look like. What kind of job could you get? So there's really endless possibilities for exploration. Another thing that I like about Focus to Career is it kind of helps you create a roadmap, right? So you can put all your education in there, it keeps up with that. Any kind of professional development or certificates, anything that you do, you can list in there. So it's almost like a second portfolio. It kind of creates that roadmap, that academic plan. Think about an academic plan, but a little step further, right? And then one thing that's neat too is when you start exploring based on the results it gives you, you can start saving occupations you're interested in that you want to dive deeper into. You can look at majors at Water State that you saved that you want to look at, and you can just go right here to the bottom and it'll take you to all your saved occupations or all your saved majors. Another thing too is it gives you a summary report. So you can combine any report. It'll give you all the results of all the assessments. or a single report, and it will give those to you and you can print them out. And then also it gives you some additional resources for career exploration. So this is a wonderful tool, but I want you to go ahead and create your account and get in here and start taking the assessments and exploring. All right. I hope everyone really does have a great spring break. I hope you get to have a little bit of rest, um, do a lot of reflection, and start playing around for career exploration. All right. Until next time, take care.